Everybody, and welcome back to Outside the Box. I want to say that anything that we talk about or that we show is for educational purposes only. We advise you to do your own discernment and do your own research. And tonight we had a different topic, but we had to change that. So we have a visitor tonight, and our visitor is Mike. Say hello, Mike Headroom. and
Hello,
then
everybody.
and then we've got Andy. If I can shut my phone up. And we've got Andy over here. And tonight we are just going to talk about all kinds of stuff, I guess. You say it that way. And have a little fun doing it. And Mike, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
All right. Well, I'm a volunteer firefighter and EMT out of Funkstown, and here in Washington County. My main job is medical robotics with a company called BD. I don't do any of the stuff that has like the open hearts and the laparoscopy stuff like that. All mine is mainly moving equipment like the pill dispensers and stuff that brings pills to other floors and stuff like that. Those kind of things. So
The drug guy.
and here we are. That's it, exactly. So here we are.
Yeah.
Well, one of the important things I left out is I'm a volunteer captain for the Hagerstown Police Department as auxiliary. But I do more of the firefighting and EMT stuff more than I do anything with the police department.
That's because you like to drive the trucks.
Bingo.
That's okay though. I would think that would be kind of fun driving those big old things down the road.
For sure. For sure.
Tight turns, I bet, are kind of fun.
Yeah, exactly. You look back and people are from one end of the truck to the other side, you know.
Get away before I butt bump you.
Yep.
God. So has there been anything interesting going on, Andy, with you today? You've been okay, quiet, busy?
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet. Mostly EMS calls. No serious accidents, thank God.
Well, that's good. That's good. Nobody falling down, nobody getting shot at Jack in the Box and running onto somebody else's yard.
Well, we did have a suicide this morning, but
This is true. Yeah, I don't know what people go through that it has to come to that, but anybody's listening that has any type of issues that are thinking about suicidal thoughts, there's a lot of help out there for you, for one.
Oh, yes,
Definitely for one. And a lot of it can be private and anonymous, you know, I forget the word of it, the confidential.
Yes. Yeah, confidential is always good.
Mm-hmm.
CIT has been busy.
Yeah.
CITs are a local crisis intervention team. It's made up of people from Turning Point, and they have a county radio. They get dispatched and then come out to help on sites. The mental distress emergencies.
Well, wow. I know with what I used to do, people I don't think they realize exactly how much stress and work that you put into things when you work EMS, fire, police, any kind of medical, nursing, hospitals, period. I got lucky though, because what I did was I chose the nursing home because I just love elderly people. I used to hear the neatest stories about how they could take 5 cents and go get a gallon of gas for the lawnmower and buy a loaf of bread and a soda with 5 cents. And I'm over here thinking to myself, okay, wait a minute. Hang on. So the same things that you had back in those days has not changed or improved. It's all the same now. But yeah, we pay so much more. Whose funky idea was that?
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. I completely agree.
Yeah. Central banking systems, government, it's all a play game. You know, we just kind of raise the inflation because we make everybody else richer.
Mm-hmm. So back to your nursing home thing. That
Yes.
takes a special person to do that because you're not everybody there is talkative or continent with themselves. You know what I mean? There's a lot of
Yep.
stuff you have to do, and um, some of them are having like dementia, alter, and they're downright mean to you, smack you, beat you,
Well,
stuff like that. Depending on where you go, and some of them,
I laugh now because I'll hear the kids nowadays that work on these floors and they'll say, "Oh God, I had I had 5 patients. When I worked, I had a whole floor to myself. I had
Right.
32 patients all to myself, and I had the dementia and Alzheimer's floor. I had one guy that I used to have to buy a new pair of glasses every couple months because he'd punch in my face and break them every time, every time. I had one that I could just not keep up with. He used to strip his clothes off and go running around the facility.
That's gonna be me. That's definitely gonna be me.
And I was like, we had the people coming to do a check, and we had to keep his clothes on. And I looked at the lady and I said, that's not going to happen, not with him. I said, but give me a minute, I'm gonna have an idea. So I ran up to him and I put some shorts on him, and he looks at me and he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "You have to keep this on." He goes, "Why?" I said, "Because that thing's going to hit the floor, and when it does, you're going to step on it." He ran around all day hanging onto his junk going, "Oh my, oh my, oh my." But he kept his clothes on when they came.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Because, I work really well with them. And, I would have some people that used to freak out. I had one lady used to kick everything off of her bed and stand on top of her bed and in a different voice yell at me. She wanted peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I'd walk by and go, "Satan, is that you?"
Yeah.
Because she was just, hang on one second, guys. Yeah. Yes. Right now, I've got Mike and Andy on, and we're just talking about just all kinds of stuff. You want to come on and just talk about stuff? Okay, I sent you the link already. All right. All right. All right, bye. So that was Susie.
Uh-oh, Mike, we got a fire call.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Who's calling?
Oh, it's a wreck.
Must not be good.
It's halfway.
Yeah, it is. Where is Hitachi Rail?
Tati Rail.
Let me
Is
get
that
the
a-
thingamabobber out.
Is that a street?
Keep that in your pants, Mike.
That too.
Oh,
Let me
my.
get Cat
Oh,
up.
my. You'll step on that thing, Mike.
I wish I could have that problem. Let's see what we got here. Hitachi Rail?
Mike's screen froze.
It's not really that bad. Vehicle ran a stop sign and hit me.
Probably.
Yeah, so not that bad. My screen back?
Yeah.
Because I had something over top of it probably. So back to the nursing home thing. When I was a kid, there was a nursing home down here, and you knew it was called Clearview.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the volunteer things I did as a kid is I went in and just talked to people. And it was really cool because I got to hear the stories similar to what you were talking about. And it was really neat. There was a couple people who I frequent with the most. I stopped in just to hear what was happening, and some old time stories and what they did as a kid and blah blah. And some of that, I had to walk to school in the snow, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. But I have to laugh at him for that one. So, and I'm actually kind of sounding like some of them now. I'm crying about these damn school buses. They stop every 20 feet to drop a kid off. And when I had to walk all the way up to Tommytown Road, like a mile away, just get on the bus. And it was like snowing and raining. I said, let me stop. I sound just like my grandparents. Let me stop. So, but there it is.
Well,
So, yeah.
I used to, and it's funny because I had 32 patients myself. And all of my little ladies, when they got up in the morning, I would do their hair. I made sure they had matching clothes on. I would do their nails. All of my men were shaving clean. They would have matching clean clothes on. Always.
All of your men. I love it.
And my grandfather used to tell me all the time, is that what you want to do with your life? Just wipe asses for a living? And I looked at him one day and I said, you know what? When you get to that stage, you're going to wish that you had somebody that would take care of you like I take care of mine.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
because
right.
They don't anymore. I've been into nursing homes, and the minute you open the door, all you smell is piss. And it's like, I see people that get breakdowns on their bottoms all the time. There's no sense in that. There really, especially if you're only got 4 or 5 patients. Shoot, if I did that job nowadays, I'd be so bored with myself. I'd be running around asking everybody else if they want help.
Right.
Because I'm used to so many. You got to get in a routine, and there is no reason why they're not clean. They're not changed. Their clothes aren't clean and look good. Their hair's not done. The men aren't shaved. I mean, it's horrible. It is absolutely horrible in some of the ones that way they treat their people now. Absolutely ridiculous. So
exactly.
My daughter tells me all the time, even now, she says, Mom, I think I need to put you in a home. And I'm like, yeah, I'll throw my wheelchair out the window and run away.
It's funny to hear Andy and his sister go back and forth about stuff like that. Well, school's like, Andy, I'm gonna put you in a home, blah blah blah. And he's like, oh no, you're not. It's just funny listening to them two go back and forth at it. It's hysterical.
I know it is, isn't it?
I would have to be like consciously out of my mind before I would allow that to happen. I would live on the streets by myself before I would let that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, no. Just too much dumb that goes on in that line of work. Now, I know some people that do it and they do it with compassion, but now the problem with it is a lot of people just do it for the paycheck.
That's exactly what it is. You're exactly right.
They only do it for the paycheck. They don't do it because they care about these people. Look, my grandmother did it. My grandmother used to work in a home for mentally challenged people. And my mother started off there. And then she went to nursing homes. Then when I think I was 17 when I worked in my first nursing home where my mom worked. And it was amazing because my uncle, myself, my mom, and both of my uncles and my brother, we all worked for the same nursing home on the same shift. So it was pretty cool. Hi, Susie.
Hey.
This is Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hello.
Yeah. He decided to join us because he was sitting around not doing much tonight. He used to go on the show with all of us before. And, he was just sitting around. I said, hey, you want to come on? He's like, sure.
Oh, yeah. Stick it back on.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Andy.
Hey.
What's
So,
Bob
how are
giving
you
you?
doing, Susie? You all right?
Yeah, we went for salad and pizza.
Oh,
Finally decided to get out of the house because it was so gloomy with all the rain and
yeah.
Yeah.
I know what that's like. Remember, we share the same cloud path. It hits me first, then goes over and pees on you. So, hey.
it just poured and poured, and like I saw you got a little bit of rain. We had this thing on the map. It was like that big, and it's I've never seen so much water out there in my life.
Yeah.
The roads are flooding out here. Yeah.
Yeah. The manager brought me a wetback.
It's not a beer. It's a root beer. Okay.
What?
Oh. Susie's not drinking beer. She's drinking a root beer.
Well, you're fun.
You know what, Susie? Nowadays, I wouldn't think it
Poor
would hurt
me.
you. It wouldn't hurt you to have a beer.
Would probably with me, it probably messed me up pretty good.
Yeah. Well, they say that one beer a day is supposed to help clean out your kidneys.
Oh, the
I don't know
alcohol.
if I don't know if it cleans your kidneys out. I know one thing, it thins the blood. I heard about that.
Well, I don't need that shit. I'm on 2
It
blood.
prevents kidney stones too.
Some
Yes, I guess
people
it
need their
does.
blood thin. You know, if they're well after the vaccines and everybody's bloods are clotting, they probably need that. You know.
Yeah. Well, I know that the prevention of kidney stone thing, yeah, because my doctor, because I passed them, like they're going out of style. I mean, when I first started, I used to name them, okay, and tell the doctor, boy, I already got so many of these in jars, I can make jewelry out of this. You better knock it off, Mr. Mouthy.
She's talking
And
to you, Andy.
so the doctor
No,
used to
she's
tell me
not.
all the time. The doctor used to tell me all the time, drink a beer a day. That'll get rid of those kidney stones. Well, no, I did one better. I stopped drinking milk because I had them analyzed and they were calcium buildup.
Huh.
And I'm telling you, I used to drink a gallon of milk in a week by myself. By myself. I loved milk, but I had to stop. Now I'm lucky if I get a quarter of a glass of milk in me. So apparently the dog wants to stick his face outside and he thinks he wants to bark at everybody, and I'm gonna beat him up. I'm gonna take him out back to use the bathroom. That way he has nothing to bark at. In case y'all don't know, I have a little itty bitty chihuahua from Russia, and he is a mouthy little boy. He doesn't like anything moving around outside at night. People are not allowed to get in their cars. They're
I
not
think
allowed to be outside of their
Penny
house.
was texting you on there.
Penny.
You see it?
Penny text me. Oh yeah, I seen it. I think I said hey to her.
She said she was looking at root beer today too when she went to the grocery store, I guess.
Yeah. She had to go to the grocery store and get her some root beer now.
Yep, we're on that same page. You know what that being on that page is all about, right?
Yeah. Tell her to send Roger to go get her some root beer. Putin, there's nothing out here to even bark at. I don't even know what you're doing, dude. God, I think he needs a psychiatrist. Mike, I think my dog needs to call a 1-800 number and get some help. He's
You can
weird.
definitely find some, so
Yeah. But Susie, Mike is a volunteer firefighter and police officer, and he does all kinds of stuff.
looks like you got locked out of your house. It's like way
didn't
back
mention
in your
it
house.
I'm out here. Oh, you don't know about my she deck, do you?
You have a sheet deck.
I have a she deck. Jack built me a big 10 by 12 deck, and we put a gazebo canopy on it with the one with the nets that zip. And of course, I have all my solar lights that go around it, which aren't really on right now because, well, we didn't have much sun today. But oh yeah, I have a sheet deck. I've got a fire pit out here and table and chair set. One of my chairs is a rocking chair. I sit on the rocking chair during the day. It's real nice.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's ridiculous. We need something like that here. The only problem is, well, maybe we do something in summertime. The only issue is that, like right now, it's freezing. What's the temperature down there? It's pretty decent, probably.
Oh well, today it is. It's been like in the 20s, but today it's like 53 right now.
We're at 56 and rain.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm okay in this thing even under the rain, so it does pretty good. I don't get wet.
Yeah, it says we have 100% chance of rain and 60% tomorrow, and we've had several days of it. So we're going to be swimming out of here.
My thunderstorms are supposed to start tonight. And my landlord brought me a wet vac just in case that spot in my wall starts leaking again, so I can suck the water up, because I go through towels like you would not believe, just trying to make sure that the floors don't get completely wet. So they brought me a wet vac, which is cool. I'm glad. And then they They said that as soon as it dries, they're going to come and dig a trench where the foundation is, where it's leaking, and they're going to fill it in and get it all fixed up for me so that it stops that leaking. What's that?
We're the blue dot in the middle of all that rain.
Oh my God. Yeah, you guys are getting it good.
Yeah.
You guys are getting it good. Penny sent me a photo. Oh, Penny sent me. Oh. Doggone it. I have these stupid pop things that keep coming on here on my thing, wanting me to buy some protection for my computer. And I already have protection on my computer.
Where are you getting them at? Are you getting them on your browser?
I don't know. They just pop up whenever I'm sitting here. It pops up when I first start it. My computer.
Then you have a little bit of advertising malware. It's already easy to take. So what I should do is zoom into your network into your computer and clean your stuff up like I do Andy's.
That would be kind of cool. We'll have to do that, like maybe after the show or whenever you have time one day. I'll give you my access. No big deal.
Just download. We'll just download TeamViewer and we'll do the same thing we do with Andy. That's all.
Do what?
Do you see what's going on at the border?
Oh, yes. Let me tell you.
I don't. What's happening down there?
Well, right now, half of Fort Hood is going down there.
Mm-hmm.
We have our National Guard down there. We have 25 other states that have people down there. Now, Biden turned around and took us to court, and they gave them a temporary permission to be able to take that wire down, but that wire ain't coming down. And you're going to have to go through our military to be able to take it down. And I don't think they got enough federal agents to do that.
They're threatening each other. Biden and Abbott are declaring war on each other, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Abbott's telling him, I've had enough of you. I'm done. Like I said, they need to be careful, because if they piss Abbott off enough, he's already got the paperwork done to be able to secede from the union. And if we secede, we're going to get followed probably by Florida, Oklahoma, Tennessee. And there goes all the government funding money. Because
there's 25 states right now that are sent. Well, I think there's quite a few that have already sending their military over here to help Texas.
Military and police.
Everybody that is getting across right now is getting arrested, and they're not taking the wire down.
Nope, they're not taking the wire down. People that
did you see that Abbott? Do you see that? Did you see Abbott talking about the guy that was the one at the border that said, "You don't know who I am"? Did you see what Abbott said about that?
Did he turn around and tell him he didn't give a shit who he is?
Well, no, he's claiming he's a Middle Eastern person, and that and then this other video I sent you, they said Yemen said they're coming to turn the White House into a black house.
You know what? They can have the White House.
And
the rest of us will give them the White House.
Well, it's take a right, make a left, go that way.
Yeah. If you pop up over here in Texas, we'll tell you, you made a wrong turn. Go back and try it again.
I said we should just, load that White House up, move it down to the border, and let all those people come into the backyard of the White House, and then they can deal with it there.
There you go. There you go.
They want to know how it feels. They need to live there.
Yep.
Let's just move the White House.
There was a woman. There was a woman who said that when this whole thing first started, she didn't see anything wrong with them leaving the border open for these people to come here for sanctuary. Well, unfortunately, the problem is they're not coming just from Mexico. We're getting them from China, from Venezuela, from everywhere. And she said she had no problem with it. She was all for it until her 14-year-old daughter was raped and tortured by some illegals.
Well, it's out of control. Okay.
Way out of control.
I mean,
way out of control. Let's put it this way.
I'll say, I lived down there. I lived not too far from there, and I saw more than I wanted to see. And I got the hell out of there.
9 hours, 10 hours from there. And I still see a lot of it here. I mean, we've got them on the street corners. They've got tents out in grasses, and they're hanging their clothes in the trees. And
They're
I mean,
overwhelmed. The
Yep.
police forces, and they're overwhelmed. They cannot keep up with it. It's
Yep.
it's
did you see what?
So
did you
yeah,
see
I'm sorry. I'm a little sorry about that. I haven't been paying much attention to the news. I'm finding some articles on it, so I'm
Yeah.
kind of catching
Mike
up to
does
you guys
fact
real quick.
checking. But
Yeah.
you got to be careful with the fact checking, because sometimes it doesn't give you everything that's going on. There's a
Yeah,
lot
I
more
know.
going on than what they're reporting.
So that's the one thing about me is everybody does whenever they start talking about conspiracies and this and that. I'm always the one that's like, well, I'm not sure. Let me do some check-in and stuff like that. So
Well,
I always like to.
this
like
border's
to,
definitely not a conspiracy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm reading stuff on it from reputable sites.
They did you hear what Florida did? Florida's sheriffs got together and turned around and told all of their people out there, if you're not armed, get there. And if you shoot somebody, shoot them a lot.
Wow.
And they said, you need to get your concealed carry, get it. You know, they're offering it free right now, which that's your concealed carry, your classes, your range, and all that stuff. I know out here it's like $97 plus when you send away for it, you have to send another $60 to get it. But now Florida is offering it for free. It's a real mess. I mean, they're out of control. Things are way out of control. We are being threatened because of our administration, and it's like it's ridiculous. It's what it is. It is absolutely ridiculous what's going on. You know, if they were coming here to seek asylum, when you come to seek asylum, you usually go to the nearest country. And these people are coming from 5 countries away. And that's not asylum. That's just coming here to live. And they're giving them $5,000 on a card when they come, a free cell phone, free plane tickets or bus tickets to wherever they want to go.
and they get to
They're
stay
getting
in the nice hotels. Yeah.
free, you know. And these are not women and children, families. These are young men all coming here, young, fit men. And they're not coming out here to do anything for the economy. They're not coming out here getting jobs.
Hey,
Why would
Brenda,
they?
can you?
Yeah.
I just sent you. Okay, I sent the one about the governors. Can you play that one?
The one about the governors? Oh, okay.
The
Yeah.
one I sent you two. The other one is about the guy, the Muslim, and his threat.
Yeah, let me get this hooked up here.
Okay.
Let me hopefully I can get it, because I'm not with my mouse right now. So
Well, while you're looking that up, in 2017, there was a Florida sheriff, Sheriff Grady, and he said he was telling all his
Grady.
citizens to
I like-
arm themselves and stop active shooters. It says.
Yep.
Yeah, that man, he rocks.
Because he turned around and said, you know, when you've got an active shooter, the way they're thinking that nobody else is going to be armed, and it's going to be them doing all the shooting, and that's it. Well, when your citizens are armed, you know, that usually active shooters don't get away with a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that was proven long ago, years ago. I used to live in Arizona, and I had to laugh because there was a guy that went into a bank to go rob a bank. And before he knew it, there was 7 people in line that had their weapons drawn on him. And he put his gun down, waited for the cops, and got arrested. Nobody had to shoot him because he didn't open fire on anybody. And he went ahead and he put his weapon down. But it's things like that that prevent a lot of this stuff. When you advertise this is a gun-free zone, that makes it so that people say, oh, hey, I can go in here and just be as stupid as I want to be.
Yeah, that
No.
is ridiculous.
Send your teachers through classes. Send them and teach them. Let them be armed. As long as those guns are put where those kids cannot get them.
Okay, I just sent you the last one. That's what, actually the one I just now sent you. There was one where that guy makes the comment, and then Abbott makes a comment about it.
Okay, I'll play the school one first. I mean the one where he talks about how many governors and stuff are down there.
Okay.
Which I can probably go ahead and do that now. So let me. I have my mouse now. So yay!
Okay.
Facebook. Okay. Oh, come on. Where are you at? Where are you? Where are you? Okay, there it is. Well,
Following governors have also provided either military personnel or law enforcement personnel. Governor Lee from Tennessee, Governor Little from Idaho, Governor DeSantis from Florida, Governor DeWine from Ohio, Governor Sanders from Arkansas, Governor McMaster from South Carolina, Governor Youngkin from Virginia, Governor Justice from West Virginia, Governor Mark Gordon from Wyoming, Governor Burgum from North Dakota. All together, counting Texas, we have 15 governors in 15 states from the United States that are deploying personnel to secure the border. Altogether, if you add in the other states that are supporting this mission, 25 governors in 25 states of the United States of America are banding together to step up and secure a border that President Biden has abandoned.
yep. There it is, Mike.
Yeah, I'm looking up stuff and this and that.
All right. The next one with Abbott, he's going to address that comment that was made from one of the. I think it's like a Muslim leader that's already crossed over.
Right. All right. Let me share it.
Okay.
Migrants who crossed into the U.S. Your reaction to that answer, soon you will know who I am.
You are smart enough, you will know who I am. You are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're going to know who I am.
They have to consider whether or not there is an invasion going on. I have asserted in court that there is an invasion going on in the United States of America, and that videotape typifies why there is such an invasion. That is a threat to the United States of America, what he said.
He'd been conducting interviews with migrants who crossed into the U.S. Your reaction to that answer?
Yeah, there was a guy, Mike, in case you missed it, that had made a video about that he came over here, he crossed over, and he was telling
He illegally crossed over?
Yeah, illegally crossed over, and he was telling people that we were too stupid to know who he was, and that soon enough we would find out who he was.
I saw somebody did some research. I think he's like a big leader of a group from over there.
Yeah. So it's getting rough, and it's going to get rocky, and you know, us people here in Texas, we stand behind what Abbott's doing. Although a lot of us agree that a lot of this should have been done a long time ago, but he was trying to take a legal way to do it, and he has had nothing but pushback from the Biden administration for it. And all that stuff when Biden was coming out saying that they wanted to shut the border down, they were gonna finish the wall, they were gonna do this. Yeah, no, they weren't finishing nothing. They weren't doing anything.
No, Texans spent, I think, $8 billion of their own money to build the wall.
Yes. So it's let's see what we got. Hi, William.
Also, there's one more video on there that talks about the what they're talking from Yemen, what they're gonna do to us.
Okay. Let me find that one. This lady needs to be quiet over here. All right, let's see. That would be this one, I believe.
Yeah, hi, William. 50 states are compromised, he said.
50 states are compromised. Now,
Yeah.
how can 50 states
That's
be
all of us. We're all compromised. They're
all
going in all the
compromised.
cities, right? Yeah.
We're compromised because we have all kinds of compromising stuff happening. Okay, here we go.
That's right. We would say to them, whatever they do, whatever they among with them, we don't fucking give a shit to them, and we don't care, and they will never scare us. They will never stop us. We are coming from Yemen, from Sana'a to Palestine very soon, inshallah, because we are with our leader, Sayyid Abdul Malik Badruddin al-Houthi, and we know that we are in the right side, so no one can stop us. We know our way. We know that we are in the right side, so we're gonna come to the White House, and we will change it from the White House to the black house and dirty house. Just wait for us, and that's it. رسالتنا لأمريكا والإسرائيل. We would.
Yeah.
Just wait for us. They're coming.
So there's a lot
So
of threats.
that's why Abbott is so worried, you know.
Well, and I mean, he should be.
That's one reason. I know there's like every citizen of the United States reasons why.
Yes. But Biden, what people don't realize is what a governor's job is to make sure that, on top of many other things, that our borders are secure and the people are safe. Okay? And he's doing his job. He did the right thing by calling up our National Guard. And we've got them all up there. We have lots of things going on.
Oh, Brendo, you have to show that show. You have to relate that show, Lockdown or Track Down with Trump.
Yes, William, you're right. It is the president's job, but obviously, you see where we're at there. Okay, what'd you say?
Yeah, you have to show that the trailer for Track Down with Trump and the wall, the show that was made in the 50s about Trump.
Oh,
What's it
I don't
called?
even know where
The
that's at.
I'll send it to you.
Explain it to Mike. Yeah, way back in the day, like, I don't know, what year was that, Susie?
I think it was in 1952.
Yeah, 1952. There was a thing that was made.
Program, yeah.
Yeah, it was a program about
The end of the world. And a man named Trump comes to town and says, we have to build a wall. Or
Yeah,
it'll be the end of the world.
TV series called Track Down.
Yep, Track Down, and it was in like 1952.
Okay, I'll send you the trailer and you can show it.
All right.
A 1958 episode, Track Down, featured
1958.
a character named Trump who wanted to build a wall. You can't make this up. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
It's like that book that I have that was written over 100 years ago about a boy named Barron who time traveled, and his traveling partner, his name was Don.
Right.
And you know, then it went into The Last President.
Yeah, the same author wrote a story called The Last President. Yeah.
Right.
And the boy that was named Barron on the cover looks like Barron too.
Yep. I know.
Okay.
I own that book.
I sent it to you.
I see it. I'm getting it. I'm getting there.
Time is just a figment of your imagination.
That's right.
I am the only one. Trust me. I can build a wall around your homes that nothing will penetrate. You're a liar, Trump.
I alone can fix it.
Miss Trump? All right, Sheriff. How long are you going to put up with this? What do you mean? How long are you going to let this con man walk around town? Be careful, son. I can sue you.
We will build a great wall along the southern border.
The people were ready to believe. Like sheep, they ran toward the slaughterhouse. And waiting for them was the high priest of fraud.
Build the wall. Build the wall. Build the wall. Build the wall.
So, Mike, let me say a few things to you. A lot of things that people log as conspiracy. Okay. First of all, conspiracy theory is not even a word, it's an oxymoron. Okay. You have conspiracy, which we all know is something that is committed and it is considered a felony. Then you have theorist. When somebody has a theory, there's some half truths to it. So conspiracy theory, that put together, was made when John F. Kennedy was shot. And the reason why is because the government made it. The CIA made it, actually. Because when people started questioning, wait a minute, how did Oswald hit Kennedy from where he was? Well, wait a minute, there was people that got shot that were shooting from the grassy knoll. Well, wait a minute, there was a shot that came. When people started questioning that, the CIA said, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Don't listen to it. Those people are crazy. Now we're finding out, and you can ask Susie. Susie knows and met, and her and Penny did an interview with James, who was the guy that shot from the grassy knoll.
Okay, I don't know if you can see that.
And he wrote a book.
Can you see that? Primary target. And
he worked for the CIA.
Yeah. He worked for the mob. Okay.
Yeah.
His story is primary target, JFK, how the CIA used the Chicago mob to kill the president. Author of To Kill a Country, interview with history, the JFK assassination by Pamela J. Ray and James E. Files. That's who James is was the one who shot Kennedy in the head. And you can see in this picture,
the grassy knoll.
He's standing behind the fence on the grassy knoll, and I stood there with him on November 22nd, just last couple months ago or whatever.
Yeah, when they had the JFK thing.
Yeah, we went to meet them and we went and met James and his wife, and during the anniversary of JFK's assassination in Dallas, because we're only about 3 hours from Dallas. And we did an interview with Files, and he was hired to kill JFK. He was a Chicago mob. He worked under Charles Nicolotti was his boss, and the CIA hired out mob to do their assassinations and stuff. And it was a Zionist takedown of Kennedy. One of the main reasons was Kennedy didn't want to give Israel nuclear weapons. And so, that was one of the main reasons that they had to take him out. And he was going to dismantle the CIA because it was corrupted. And so it was a conspiracy. Lyndon B. Johnson, who I knew Lady Bird Johnson, and I knew the Lyndon B. Johnson family because I grew up in Austin. And, I was around the family that was, knew the Johnsons and stuff. And they were all part of the mob. They were called the good old boys. In Texas, when you join the mob and you're in politics, you're just a good old boy. It's like a cowboy mob, And
there's a lot, Mike, with Susie. Susie grew up around certain people of power and had a lot of different things happen to her. look up the serial killers Otis and Toole.
Henry.
And Susie was picked up by them and almost killed. And
Yeah,
there's a lot. This world is not what you think
They're
it is.
actually, and they were connected to the. Okay, so what it is, it's a satanic organization. These are evil people who sold their soul to Satan, and they pretty much all are like one big family. You know, like a body of evil, and so they use the mob.
She's very informed.
Yes. And when, I met Lucas and Toole in Jacksonville, Florida in 79 when they tried to kill me, and God, stopped them. But I learned since then, because Lucas ended up becoming a Christian in prison, and he was told by Jesus to tell everybody that he ever killed, which was probably in the upwards number of about 1,000 people. And he explained that he worked for an organization called the Hands of Death that was run by a military satanic organization that was overseen by a man named Michael Aquino, who was Church of Set, San Francisco, who under him was many fractions. And so this is the mob. And so assassins and serial killers all did the bidding for this satanic organization. So if you needed something done, this is who you went to. So
Now,
they're all connected. This is why,
One day, when you have time, I'm going to tell Mike this. One day when you have time to sit with me and Susie on here, she can go through all these people. You can look these names up. She can explain where they are from, what they do. She grew up down the road from Jeffrey Dahmer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he lived right down the road from me when I was a kid. Jeffrey Dahmer did. Yeah.
Crazy.
And I mean, she has lived a very crazy life. And the government is mob bracketed, yes. When they brought Trump in, they needed that break because Trump's not a politician. He was a businessman. So it got away from that break of the politicians, which is actually what we needed and actually what we really need. Our politicians are in office way too long.
I think the main word for it would be mafia. They would be, they're all mafia.
Right? Government mafia.
Yeah. Mafia, Satanists, mafia, mobs, mafia groups.
Right. You can learn a lot from Susie that will help you understand why people call things conspiracy theories, because most conspiracy theories are correct. They end up
There's a little bit of truth. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a little bit of truth, but you can connect it all. It's all connected. It's all connected. It's just how it's connected.
Yep. Everything is connected in one big circle. You would not believe. I mean, you would not believe the corruption in government, the corruption in the police departments, the corruption in medical, everything. It's everywhere.
Yeah, there's corruption everywhere. I mean, it's money and stuff like that.
Yes.
One of my best friends was William Chester Swift, who was Special Forces Air Force, who was a confirmed 132 kills for the government, and went on many missions, went all around the world, did what he was told to do, where he was told to do it at. And he died protecting me and my son. And
killed right in her front yard in front of her son and her.
Yeah. And one of his first missions was back when Michael Aquino, who is now dead, Michael Aquino, who was Church of Set from San Francisco, who was accused of raping and murdering children in San Francisco at Presidio military base there, brought to trial, and all the charges were dropped against him because it was a matter of national security, because he worked for the government, and he was never charged, even though he had 75 children testifying against him. Okay. This was a huge pedo satanic ring, that was overseen by Michael Aquino. Okay, they work with the Vatican. They're what they had. He had under him. He worked in the government. He was head of the PSYOP. What he did is he trained what they call super soldiers, assassins, to carry out assassinations and different things like that. So he had a lot of people working underneath him. And in 1976, Chet was 21 years old, and Michael Aquino was in Vietnam. Michael Aquino was under Anton LaVey's church at that time before he started his own Temple of Satan set. And at that time, he had gone rogue in the military and had gone up into Cambodia and was killing Vietnamese and Cambodians and American soldiers and the government. They wanted to stop him. They asked Chet to go in there and take him out. Chet went in with a helicopter. Chet was poisoned. He was stabbed. He had got gangrene. He had to get rescued. And Aquino got away. And I asked him, why didn't they do anything about it? He said they forgave him. Michael Aquino was a high priest, black magic. He could summon demons, and they were using these arts to summon demons in Vietnam to make all this screaming in the jungles to scare the Vietnamese. I guess they were shooting down a lot of American helicopters and stuff like that. So this was scaring the Vietnamese. So he was an asset to the government at that time. So Michael Aquino he was a very intelligent person, made his ranks and grew pretty strong within the military. So Satanism was a very, very strong, factor in our government. So, here we are today. It's out of control, it's fast forwarding to today, so what do we have now? We have a country that's upside down, and we have all kinds of human trafficking going on. We have sex trafficking. We have pornography rings. We have organ people buying and selling for organs. We have drugs that are out of control, people overdosing from drugs, it's just crime is at an all-time, high,
Susie, if it doesn't bother you too much, so that Mike understands that about the organ thing, do you want to explain to him your daughter?
What do you want to
tell him about when she got sick and actually what she had, and then all of a sudden it took a turn to the worse, and before she was what they were wanting you to do with her organs. And
my daughter had a heat stroke, and we went in there, and they told me that, they basically had said that they had her on a like a machine to keep her alive and stuff. And they said,
life support ventilator and stuff.
Right. And they had told me she was 20 years old and never drank, never smoked, really healthy, B positive blood type, which apparently is a very, desired blood type for organs, and very healthy. And they said we could keep her on the machine longer we have to take her off because, they said we did a test with her and she's not breathing on her own. I think it's a big scam, the whole thing. But, I believe
they checked for brainwave activity.
Yeah, they just said they took her off of the oxygen and she didn't breathe on her own. That's all they told me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, if you allow us to, take her organs, we'll give her 36 more hours. And I wanted a chance to her to live. So I agreed to it. And so they took all her organs. Everything, and because she didn't make it, apparently, according to them. And I always felt like, there was something nefarious about that whole situation, although they could have never prove it, it just, none of it made sense, like she, it didn't make sense.
Now I had heat stroke in Arizona. It was 130 degrees out and I didn't even have water, and I wasn't out there for very long. And I woke up in the hospital 3 days later. And now I don't sweat like normal people, which is why I get overheated a lot. I will maintain water because I don't sweat. So I was in my 40s when that happened. Now here, this was a 20-year-old girl, 20. And she had heat stroke that bad. When she,
I think she was in the hospital for, like 5 or 6 days or something like that.
And that was their diagnosis, was a heat stroke.
Yeah.
So it's really a lot of things that go on. And this is what causes people to say conspiracy theory. When there are things that happen that just don't make a damn bit of sense. And listening to science ain't it, because science is not all that in a bag of chips, let me tell you. So you get people like us that will think outside of the box, outside of the normal realm, and say, okay, wait a minute. So this happened, but then this happened. But then they said this happened, and then it changed to this. So we will sit and dig into things and connect the dots and come up with a lot of truths that people don't really see. Now, the problem is you've got your media that lies to us. Back when Obama was in office, he passed a executive order stating that it was okay for the media to cause propaganda and to lie. The media is not like it used to be. They don't go out and do investigating journalists anymore. They sit there in their offices. They get their printouts of what they're supposed to talk about and how they're supposed to talk about it. And then they go on the news, and that's what they report. They don't do anything anymore. This is what they do. The media is owned by high top of the pyramid people.
Well, people like Ted Turner, who is, owns CNN in Atlanta, Georgia, so, these people are all owned by the Zionist, same top of the pyramid of, who's in control, who calls the shots. Our government doesn't do anything unless the Jewish, it's not, and that's the thing. When I say Jewish, I don't mean like Jewish people. It doesn't have anything to do with Jewish people, because it says that there are those who say they're Jews, but they're of the synagogue of Satan. These are satanic people that consider themselves Zionist. Okay, they don't even follow anything that's religious, actually.
And what's bad about it is your Jewish people, your Palestinian people, they're all caught in the middle. They're caught in the middle of government, just like we are. Only they have it worse because they cannot defend themselves. Where us, we have our Constitution and we defend ourselves. We have rights here. So those poor people there, they're stuck in the middle. They are stuck in the middle. And those people there do not care.
We the little people. We the little people,
Yeah, it's a big club and we're not invited.
Sounds like, probably how Ireland and Scotland sounded. We the little people, we have to fight, the powers that be,
I think the best comedian, and he was telling the truth. The man was telling the truth. The best comedian out there who told it like it was George Carlin.
Yeah, Carlin. Oh, George Carlin.
Yep. And all that stuff. And it's amazing how he made it to where it was a joke. But everything he said was true. He knew about all of it. People call Mel Gibson crazy. And Mel Gibson has been talking about Hollywood for years, and people deemed him as crazy.
Yeah, who run? They go, who runs the Hollywood? The Jews. It's not really the Jews; it's the Zionists again. But it, you might as well call it. That's what people understand it in that realm. Yeah.
Yeah. This world is a. There's a lot hidden. There's a lot we've been lied to all of our lives about a lot of things. A lot. And it's some of it I
like I said, when you boil it down, it really just turns out to be the mafia. the
Yeah.
Zionist mafia.
And I
You
mean,
know.
and I've sat there and I thought to myself, well, that's like one of the dumbest things they could lie to us about. Why did they do that? But they have their meaning. They have their reasons.
You
It's
think
a-
about how the mafia operates. It's about money and power and control, and they're the bosses. They call the shots.
Right. You know,
Yeah.
William, I'm trying to figure out how to be able to put your oh, wait a minute. I can share this. Oh, look, I figured it out.
There you go.
Look at that.
Right.
Look at that. Yep. Look, I did it.
There you go.
Now let's see if I can figure out how to make it go away. There we go. I learned something new every time I do this. But
Right.
yeah. Yeah. And they
Yeah.
are cowards.
I mean, all you got to do is just, look at all these, calamities that are happening, and then you can link it all back. It all just makes full circle.
Yep.
Absolutely. Follow the money, right? Follow the money.
Everything.
Follow the paper.
Including our mass shootings and all that stuff. You tell me where a 16-year-old with no job gets a $1,500 rifle and military clothes that are brand new. Ain't got a job in the world. I can't afford a pair of handcuffs. This kid's got better rifles than me. And damn ammo. How does this happen? Well, everybody, have you ever heard of MK Ultra, the mind control thing? Have you ever heard of that?
Were you talking to me, Brenda?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Someone
said-
called me on the radio and I answered them real
Oh.
quick. Sorry
Have
about
you-
that.
Have you ever heard of MK Ultra? That
No.
mind control stuff. You have never heard of that?
I forget the names of them, but yes.
And the government projects like what is it? Project Pegasus and all that stuff that the government
Project
used to do.
Paperclip and
Yeah.
yeah.
Those
There's
things
so
are
many
true. Those things are
Project
true.
Fishbowl, and you can go on and on and on.
Yeah, those things are true, and they
Few
never
things-
stopped doing them like they were supposed to. They never stopped. That's where you get a lot of these kids, a lot of these people that do mass shootings.
Have you
They
ever
are-
seen Stranger Things? The show Stranger Things.
Oh yeah. Yep, for sure.
Okay.
So that's based on truth.
That's based on MK Ultra.
Yes, it is. And they do this to these kids, and then they call them up. They say a word, and when they say that word, automatically those kids kick into motion, go where they're supposed to go, pick
Trigger
up what
words.
they're supposed to do, and go do what they're doing.
It's like Roy Rogers' horse. Trigger. They get triggered. Hi ho, Silver.
Yeah, trigger words.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's exactly what they do.
No, that's telling.
And it's all true. It's everything they do now. That's why a lot of these people that do mass shootings, when they get interviewed on the way into jail or on the way being transferred, people ask them about it and they say, I don't know what you're talking about, because they don't remember. They have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
When they're done doing what they're doing, they have no clue that they did what they did.
Yeah, I have a friend, Brenda, a girl that she's from Austin. Her mom works for the FBI, right? And she's from England. Her best friend, they were from England. Bryce Weeson is his name, and he got in one of those programs where they paid him like $200,000 to, test medication and stuff like that, right? And you sign away your rights and all that, right? But they paid him a lot of money. Well, he goes to this program, but he doesn't remember ever getting there. All he knows, he wakes up in a hospital, he says, and he says it's been in a car wreck. But see, what they did is they went in there and they erased his memory, so he doesn't even know anything about what happened. Well, they chipped him, she said, with this thing called voice-to-skull technology, and that's where they can literally, talk to him in his head, like a little computer chip, and they can speak to him. And so they had chipped him and they had programmed him. They wanted him to be an assassin and to kill people. So she says, well, and this was in, I don't know, I'm trying to think back the year, but it was on Palmer Lane. It was at a H-E-B grocery store, and they're on I-35 outside of Austin.
Yep.
Okay. There was, okay, so the incident was a man, which was him, was Bryce, goes up to the grocery store, okay, and he's told that there's a policeman standing there. He's told that this policeman is a pedophile and to kill him. Okay, he hears it in his head. So he takes the policeman's gun and he shoots and kills the policeman right there. They arrest Bryce. He's held, he's released, and he's never charged. Yeah. So, yeah. So so my friend says all the charges got dropped, right? So then his next assignment was to kill a senator out of Pennsylvania who was supposed to be meeting in Dallas. And, but he says he doesn't want to do it. So, he tells his friend what's going on. He doesn't want to go up there. He doesn't want to do this. And the senator, wife had passed away, and he had married a young boy, a younger man. So he was gay. So these people wanted him to kill the senator who was from Pennsylvania, and he didn't want to go do it. And he goes to Dallas, and then the parents and my friend never hears from him again, ever. Like, never hears from him again. And the senator doesn't get taken out. And then about 2 years later, you hear the senator has some accident and he gets killed. Okay. So somebody else did take care of the senator,
William brought up a good point about how there's immunity to MK Ultra. Or is there immunity? There is immunity to MK Ultra. So I think because it's a government a government thing, I think that that's why they don't get charged, or things happen to where they don't get into trouble. So I think
whatever they do, the charges get dropped. Yeah, automatically. Yeah,
and it happens a lot.
Yeah.
One of these days, actually, when we get done with the show, I'm going to tell you a little something that I found out about Mr. O.J. Simpson. I can't say it on the air, but I will tell you. And it's interesting, so I will tell you. But there's a lot of stuff out here, Mike, that is just unbelievable. And I can understand why a lot of people would turn around and say, oh, there ain't no way. Because you know what? I was one of those to a point. I grew up knowing about a lot of this stuff, but there would be some of this stuff I'd be like, what? Now I've heard of some crazy shit, but that's hang on a minute. Okay. But as it goes on and you realize exactly what's happening here, what is going on this third dimension right here, it's really bad. And it's kind of scary. And a lot of us, like Susie, myself, I've had family turn against me, everything. But we inform and say what we have found out and what we've dug and researched and found out, not to just spew shit out of our mouth. We do it a lot of times so that when something does happen, in the back of your mind, you're going to say, wait a minute, Brenda told me about this and told me not to panic. So this is what we're going to do. So
my faith is in God. I put my faith in God.
Yes.
So, he's my pilot, co-pilot, and everything else, so,
And he gives us a lot of clues. He does put it right there. It's just up to us to throw away what we know and think about that deep-seated common sense we have. And open our eyes and say, this could be possible. They could have done that. Because this place is just weird. And when it all comes to light, people are going to just be dumbfounded. And I mean, absolutely jaw drop and wait, what? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little worried, Brenda. I'm very concerned. I had that dream years ago where I believe it was John from the book of Revelations. He came to me in my dream and he said to me, many are going to die. There's going to be many deaths. And I woke up. It was 11 at night. I woke up and went back to sleep. At 12 o'clock at night, he came again another hour later, and he said, there will be many deaths. And I said, how will this happen? He said, at the hands of a man.
Yep.
And many will die. And I woke up. It was 12 o'clock. 2 weeks later, he came again a third time. And he said to me, there will be many deaths, but you will be okay. So many are going to die. So, and I believe that we are approaching the worst time that anybody has ever even imagined is coming. The worst event is fixing to happen. The world is about to explode, and it's going to explode everywhere. And I think people need to get their life in order, their house in order, and
get right with God. Get right with God, because I was told it's going to be pretty bumpy for a while before it gets better. It's going to be pretty bumpy. And I really think that, I was thinking you were right. I think all that is going to start here because of this border between here and Washington.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's a prophecy about the United States splitting into three. And so I think that some of the states are going to divide here. They're going to take a stand against the government. And I think that's going to, sometimes when you get prophecy, it doesn't come the way you think it does because you interpret it with our human abilities. And we don't have that ability to see the things that happen because, we're just not that advanced.
William, you are right. All of our rich and famous people are building underground bunkers. But being in an underground bunker does not save you from God.
Well, one of the things that God told me that those that hide in the underground bunkers will all die. And it could be because of the earthquakes that are going to be coming that will, break the foundations of these.
Hang on, Susie. Mike, in case you didn't know, Susie has been studying every Bible and have read them several times. She has been with God all of her life. And she has done a lot of reading with the Bibles and the Quran and several different things for the last 30 years.
Maybe 800, 900 Gnostic writings. And I read all the Jewish books. I've read, pretty much the Muslim books. I've read the Christian books. Pretty much,
Right. Cool,
yeah.
Cool.
So she knows quite a bit. God came to her and said, put that stuff down and forget everything you read and learn from me. And that's what she's been doing ever since. So, yeah. And she gets on. And you know what's funny? Check this out. So she had an issue with her son and some people that they hung around with. Okay. And she had this dream and something had happened. Well, she woke up. The next night, I don't even know these people. And I finished her dream for her and told her how it ended.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know them. I don't even know them.
And then I had another dream after that. So it was like a 3-part dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, little trilogy.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, but we have, it's a lot of interesting things. A lot of times Susie and I'll sit on, ask Andy. Susie and I'll sit on the phone for 5 and 6 hours at a time, just talk about things that are happening, things that are going on. We will sit and put things together, and it's kind of neat. But boy, I'll tell you what, it can be mind tiring. Like, it'll wear you out when you
exhausting.
sit.
I'm sure.
Yes, very exhausting. But it's amazing.
It's like trying to be a detective and solving the problem of the world, and trying to find the clues to it and then the evidence and you know, it's an exhausting job.
Yeah. You know, Susie, I was thinking about it the other day. With everything that's going on, maybe we need to figure out trying to move something up there for us, and we just might need to come there before you sell that ranch and we moved to Arkansas.
Yeah. We'll hide out in the Ozarks. Yeah.
We're all gonna be living in one little spot.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's but there's a lot going on this border. And there's been a lot going on this border, but it's getting to the point where Abbott knows the definite dangers of leaving it open. And lately it's been even more so. We have had so many young men coming through here, and they're getting released. They're getting bus tickets. They're getting airplane tickets. They're getting everything. And the federal government's giving it.
Well, they say they're working for the UN. The UN.
Yeah.
The what do you call it? The mercenaries that are working for the UN are coming in.
Yeah. And you know they want to replace all of our military and our police stating.
And they're sending our troops. They're going to send our troops overseas and leave us, the families here, without any protection.
Yep. With UN over us.
Mercenaries, yeah. The same mercenaries they sent into Syria, which turned on them and took over the oil fields that Trump and Putin had to deal with.
Yep. So we all know what's up. We're not blind. We know what they're doing. We know what's going on. Our biggest thing is safety in numbers. When shit goes down, stay home. When the military tells you that we are under martial law, get in your house and stay there. Protect yourself and your family. That's about the only thing that we can do. Let them do their jobs out here. Because we have a lot of military that's not leaving. But we got.
So, have you heard any more about the military? Have you heard any more about the military down there, Brenda?
Poland.
Huh?
They're going to Poland.
They're going to Poland? Okay, because they're going to probably march out of Poland over.
Yeah, they'll be backed up by Putin.
Okay. Some of them. What about the others? Some of the others are being deployed where?
I believe around the United States, like in California. They need to send them to New York. I haven't really heard a whole lot about New York yet, but New York's getting out of control.
Did you hear about the terrorist bomb that was on the Rainbow Bridge in Niagara Falls between Canada and the United States? New York. Did you hear about that? Killed like 5 people. Okay, and they're saying
I thought it only killed 2 people.
I heard 5.
Yeah, I didn't hear 5.
They could have at first they could have said 2, but then as they start clearing wreckage, they usually find more. So
yeah, 'cause I didn't hear anything about the 5, but I stopped following after I watched it for a little bit because I've been across that Rainbow Bridge a couple times. So is Jen and I. So you know.
Yep.
But then when I saw it, I was like, "What?" You know.
That's Odin. I don't know if you know who Odin from the Norse mythology is all about. Odin, or Woden. That's where we get the name Wednesday from. Woden, Wednesday, or Thursday is Thor's day. His son Thor. You saw
Thor, Odin.
Thor, who carries the hammer, is Odin's son. That's Thor. And then you have Freya, who is Friday.
And that was the name.
Tues, which is Tuesday, his son. And, so you have the days of the week named after Odin. Well, that's my great-great-grandfather, Odin, Allfather, the Allfather, the Norse god of the Norse, so, but he crossed, it was said, the Rainbow Bridge to come to what they call Midgard, which is Earth, because he was from outside of the ice wall. And that bridge was burned by fire and they couldn't get back, according to legend, And he came at the time when they had to kill the giants, when they fought the giants, and, and he would.
Like Ragnarok or whatever, when they fight.
Yes, fought the Battle of Ragnarok.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So my thing is, why were they leaving the U.S. to go to Canada and explode it?
They're doing.
Well,
Usually
they're
everybody wants to
crossing
explode
from
stuff on
Canada.
us.
They're crossing from Canada, and they're crossing Canada, and there's a lot coming over from Canada as well. They're being
But
invaded.
I'm
as well.
saying the people that the explosion and the bomb, the terrorist thing, it was people coming from the U.S. to Canada, and that's unusual. Usually it's the opposite way around. That's why I
Right?
was like, why would they go into Canada? What were they going to blow up in Canada? How did they get through us first?
One of the things that Penny said that God told her was that that she saw they were going to start burning down all the bridges so that we can't get around. They're going to impede our way of getting from place to place by blowing up our bridges. When she had that vision back in Branson, Missouri.
We've got one on them. We know how to use the underground.
We
know
because
all about that underground stuff.
look at all the bridges that we have to cross to get to state, or like in Key West is a 7-mile bridge just to get down to the Keys.
Oh, I wouldn't live out there to save my life. You couldn't give me a house out there. A little island cut off with one bridge. Get out of here.
Hey, I liked it down there. I like Key West.
It's a good
That's
place
when
to visit, but I wouldn't want
when
to
I
live
was down in
there.
Key West. That's when I met Jimmy Chagra. The big drug dealer that was accused of killing Judge Wood in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Jimmy was a nice guy.
But you know what?
Then again, my boss said, Al Capone was a nice guy and Pancho Villa was a nice guy when he met him, because Pancho Villa was like Robin Hood for the Mexican people. And,
Rich and give them more. There ain't nothing wrong with those people.
I was like, but Buck, I said, but Buck, hey, they killed a lot of people. He goes, yeah, but he was nice to me. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think the Keys would be a nice place to visit. But like I said, being on an island that is got one way in and one way out, and it's this long ass bridge. That's
well,
destroy. No, thank you. Thank you.
When I met Chagra, he was the biggest dope marijuana smuggler or dealer in the United States back in the was it 70s, late 70s, 80s, right? And so when we were there, they were waiting for a big shipment coming in from Colombia. They're flying into the Keys, So I mean, that's when we met Chagra, So it's it's a big meeting place, and of course I got to tell the story. So we're hitchhiking and we meet these two guys from Texas, right? And they're like driving down to the Keys, and they're like, well, "You guys need a ride? Yeah, we need a ride. Oh, well, y'all can stay in this hotel. A friend, he's got these rooms paid up. He's having some people coming in from Colombia, so y'all can stay in the room." I was like, oh, okay. So we go in there, and Jimmy Chagra comes over, and he says, "Oh, here's keys to my Cadillac, girls. Here's some money, and just enjoy your shop." It was real nice, And he's like, "Oh, and there's a tray with some Coke in there, $100 bill rolled up. Help yourself, And and then after like 3 days, he's like, "Well, my friends are coming, so we're gonna need the room and stuff. But my guy Red, he'll take care of you." So Red's like, "We just built this brand new house over here on Little Pine Key, and y'all could stay there." So they took me and my girlfriend over to this house, beautiful house on the beach, and we went over there and took a shower. And then after we took a shower, they're like, "Hey, you want to go get something to eat?" We're like, "Sure, no problem." So let's go down to Key West. So we drive down to Key West, and they go, "We want to show you something." So they pull into the police department, right? And there's this big van full of marijuana bales.
Oh
and
my
I'm
God.
thinking, oh my God, I'm in here with a bunch of drug dealers, and they're showing me bales of marijuana in a van at the police station, and I'm freaking out. And we're pulling in, and then the policeman comes out and he looks at us. They just kind of wave, and we drive off, and I'm thinking, oh my God. So we leave, and we're going down the road, and they decide, going through a golf course, they're going to drive through the golf course, through the green. So they drive through the golf course. I'm in the back seat, and next thing I see a police car lights on behind me. We're pulling us over. I was like, oh my God, we're in so much trouble. I can't believe they just did this. And Policeman walks up to the car and he goes, "Hey, Red, FBI is going to be in town, so y'all need to lay low for a while. Just going up to Ohio and, you know, kind of lay low." And I thought, oh my God, the world is corrupt.
The world is absolutely corrupt.
Oh my Lord. They were working with the drug dealers in Key West. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The world is absolutely corrupt. Ooh, the fog's rolling in. What is this?
So, you know, God was teaching Susie at a young age how bad it got.
Crazy.
Like,
Well, listen, I have to go. I am
Okay, Mike.
getting tired. Got a long day. I appreciate you letting me come on. I haven't been on forever.
I know.
I was able to try to find some fact checking while we were all talking in here, and I found some odds and ends that piqued my interest. So
yeah,
stuff like
sometimes
that, so.
you can find some odds and ends on Google and different places, but there's certain places that you have to look to be able to find everything, and you got to be careful with Google because Google does that. We like to lie to you news type thing.
You have to fight through some of the stuff and do it. So yeah, Susie, you'll find that I love everybody, but I have to see proof sometimes for myself here.
I know.
Yeah, so
as I said, one time when you're not doing nothing and we don't have a show, if you want, you come back here with us and she can go over some things step by step and show you where to look at, and you can get in there and dig into it. Boy, I'll tell you,
Gotcha.
you'd be amazed.
Well, I appreciate it again, Susie. Good meeting you. Take care.
Good night, Mike.
All right, you guys, take care. Have fun.
Bye-bye. Andy.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I'm
William said the bridge got knocked down last year in the storms.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
I don't remember hearing that, but I used to have a friend that used to live out there. Her husband was in the Coast Guard, or her ex-husband was in the Coast Guard, and she used to live out there, and she loved it. But I don't know how you can love living in a place where every couple months you got to pack everything up and move and get out of there because it got storm coming.
I guess that's about right.
Evacuate. I live here part-time.
I know. My mom took us to St. Thomas to live in the Virgin Islands when I was in 7th grade. And I remember the threat of a hurricane coming, and I was like terrified. I was like, oh my God,
Evacuate. Time to evacuate. Got it.
Nowhere to go. You're on a little island, where are you going to go,
Yeah. I know when I first moved down here, my ex-husband was military, and when I first moved down here, she used to call us up and say, "Hey, they're evacuating for a hurricane. You guys mind if I come to Texas?" We're like, "Nah, come on." And she'd come and visit us for about a week and then go home. She'd pack up her and her dogs and come on.
Well, you're talking about down there in that area. That's where Lucas and Toole met with Aquino and that group, the military group down in the Everglades to be trained, in that satanic, they all met down there in the Everglades.
I think I know why they use the Everglades.
The alligators to feed them off.
If they didn't like you, they just feed you the alligators.
Yeah, well, they were moved there. He said that they would go out and they'd go out on these boat or things, and then they'd always move every time they met down there. So they were never in the same spot,
Right.
Who's going to go looking for you in the freaking Everglades, like you want to, especially you go out there and you see a bunch of people running around, eating people. Right. You're not going to go. Yeah.
Right. Now, I do want, because I did advertise the show that we were going to do it on some of the government projects and time travel. So we'll have to set that up this week and do it on Friday night. Because I don't know if you forgot or if I forgot to tell you, but I could have swore I made the show and sent it to your messenger. So you can hear it.
Were you saying we're going to switch it over to Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, I think we are, but I got to figure out how to make this switch. So maybe next week what we'll do.
It will be Friday. We'll be on Friday, this Friday, right?
We'll be on this Friday, yes.
Okay.
And then what we'll do is we'll do Friday show. And then next week we won't do Tuesday show, and then we'll do Friday and Saturday show.
Right.
So that way I can at least let somebody else know that I won't be able to be on their show on Saturdays anymore because we're going to do the weekend shows.
Well, I'm a little concerned about, what if multiple things are happening over here? What if you've got Yemen and, the Muslim communities coming over here, plus you got the UN coming over here, plus you got our military over here, plus you got citizens over here. What a chaos situation that's going to end up being, right?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of hoping that things go a little bit of a different direction before any of that happens. So
another thing I saw, Brenda, I saw they were showing.
Thank you.
They were showing some of the some of the terrorists dressed like they were us, with the mega flags, so that they could trick people.
They did that with January 6th.
So they would come into neighborhoods, and you're thinking that they're on your side and they're the bad guys. So that's another thing that worries me, is how they're going to camouflage themselves to fool people, and their people are going to trust them.
Here's a little bit of insight I can give you. Normal, everyday people who are even mega people, Trump supporters, what have you, they wear regular clothes. The only time you see them dressed like that is when they go to a Trump rally. So if you see somebody decked all out and you know there's not a Trump rally around the corner from your house, stay away from them.
He's dressed like a clown. Stay away. Yeah, there's always a reason to be fearful of them clowns, right?
Yeah. Is it? I seen something I was watching. Oh, I turned Scooby-Doo on for my pup, because my Russian Chihuahua likes to watch Scooby-Doo. And they were doing one the other night about a ghost clown. So when you said that, that's the first thing I thought of. Wait a minute, where have I heard of bad clowns?
Yeah. They're going to be a bunch of clowns dressed up like, Trump supporters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh. Now, I gotta do this for William if I can catch the little squirrely thing. Hey, come here. Demir, what you doing? Come here. Wait, you gotta help me. I can't do it all by myself.
So, remember when they were doing the interviews with the people that are coming over the border, and they were asking them, where are you going? And they were naming a lot of the big cities like Chicago, New York, California. Right. They were actually, they were congregating in a lot of the big cities. And then, of course, we hear some of the big hotels are putting up these people. So, and I find that so suspicious after that movie that came out that Obama did about
Leave the World Behind. Yeah.
Leave the World Behind. Yeah.
Yep.
And they're standing there looking at, like a civil war breaking out, and they're going to go run and hide in their bunkers. I mean, it's just like, you cannot even make that up. Why? And then I saw that show with Michelle Obama. She says, being the wife of the president, I know all these things, and sometimes I can't sleep at night knowing what's coming. So, I mean, that right there was kind of telling of what she knows, how bad things are going to get,
Well, I'm sorry, but if you ask me, she's known what's coming. And yes, William, you're right. That movie was predictive programming. That's exactly what that was made for. But William, just in case you don't know, because you haven't watched this before, this is my Russian long-haired Chihuahua. He came from Russia, and his name is Putin.
Putin. Hey, Putin.
His name is Putin, and
Putin
is who you'll hear in the background because trying to stop a Chihuahua from barking at a gnat when it flies by and farts is ridiculous.
And he only understands Russian, really, pretty much, right?
Yeah. He understands English a little better now, but my neighbor speaks Russian to him, And it's so funny because he responds to him like that. It's like me. Sometimes he looks at me like I'm stupid, but he responds to him like you would not believe. And he spent a lot of time in Russia, so he eats a lot of chicken. And of course, we know that's what this one was raised on, was boiled chicken. So he feeds him chicken all the time. So that's like his best friend. I don't exist when the neighbor's around. It's quite amusing. But this is the little mouthy thing you'll hear going off all the time. Everybody's kind of used to him. I try to maintain him as much as possible. I've spent $60-$70 on getting noise cancellation things, and nothing works. Even I can wear my headset, and it's got a noise canceling chip on it, and you can still hear his mouth.
We love our animals, don't we? We love our animals.
Yes, we do. And Susie's got lots of them.
I think I have 32 horses, I think 36 cows, 20 dogs, 1 cat.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Jeez.
Okay. I think that's all I have. Okay.
And they don't all live in the house with her, though. They have lots of acreage to run around on. So,
yeah.
It's all good. Well, let's see. What time we got now? Okay.
It's 11:36 here.
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to chit chat about? William, you want anything you want to know about? We might have an answer.
You might regret it.
William is actually pretty smart, knows a lot of stuff. So,
That's good. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. We know quite a bit. And Mike, I love Mike to death. I do.
He said the border. He said the border.
The border. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that border is a mess. I know this. I know that the people that are involved right now in trying to protect it, they're not going to give in. They're not giving. It's a car.
Thank God. I thank God for Abbott. Now Abbott just endorsed Donald Trump 100%. And
it's not just a car.
You know,
it's a cat.
Abbott's tried every way he could all these years to get this border thing cleaned up. And he's literally the people he's been watching people dying and getting killed. He's been watching all this stuff going on out of control. And I think he's a very compassionate person, and he actually is responding now in the best way he knows how, to his moral compass of what he needs to do. He's listening to his moral compass. He's listening to his God compass. Right. And that is, this has got to get under control.
Yeah.
And so he's not going to back down. He's not going to back down.
He's not going to back down. The people of this country are not, or the people of this state are not going to back down.
And the Texans aren't going to back down either. Texas is going to support him, and these other governors are coming in and supporting him. Yep. They're not going to back down. And, Arkansas is, is Huckabee, Sarah Huckabee. And, she supports Donald Trump. She supports all of this. She just recently kicked out a whole Chinese, she just passed a law in Arkansas. If you're from China, or if you do not have your citizenship here, or you're a company from China, you can own land in Arkansas, and you have to sell now.
Yep.
You're out.
And, I had people laughing at me because when they were talking about people going to the border, so I contacted some of the guys I used to work with. And they're like, we're thinking about arming up and going down there. I said, well, they're deputizing. And they said, you want to ride? I'm like, I'll bring my stuff. I've got, they said, do you still fit in your bulletproof vest? I'm like, probably not. Like 118 pounds of nothing when I used to work with them.
How many years did you do law enforcement, Brenda?
Total of, on and off, total of 10.
10 years. Wow. Okay.
10 in the hospital. It was funny because I used to have a nursing license, and I could hurt you and fix you all at the same time. So worked out great. If that makes any sense to you.
Right.
Oh my God, you shot me. Yep. Okay, hang on, sit still. Let me put this tampon in your wound and we'll be all right.
Oh my God, Brenda.
I'll stop your bleeding till we get to the hospital. Seriously,
Well,
that's
you
what
are,
it's
right? Girl Band-Aid.
Yeah. Well, they say that's one of the best things to use in a gunshot wound.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they
Because it absorbs the blood very quickly.
yep.
Yeah.
And it expands, so what it does is it stops the
Covers
blood
the-
from coming out. Yeah, so it works out well. But
Because Andy, now you work a lot with the emergency, right?
Mm-hmm.
What exactly? How many years have you been doing that?
25.
Oh wow! Wow.
Keeps me busy.
Mike's in the same town as him, so you know he works with Mike a lot and all of them. So
Okay. That's a lot of years. Yeah, that's amazing. Probably learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah. A lot and seen a lot.
Right?
cayenne powder.
Cayenne powder will stop the blood and the pain. Wow.
I would think that would burn.
That stuff. That's some potent stuff. Now I think I was reading something the other day about cayenne powder. Something really good for you. But man, I got some of that, a couple weeks ago, and I put it in my food, and I kind of like put it in there, and I mean, I was like, I was like, maybe I won't put so much in next time. It's supposed to be some pretty good stuff.
That and watch that curry, because boy, I'll tell you what, that curry will get you.
Right?
That curry will get you. I'm scared of that stuff. I really don't like eating something that I feel is going to cause me that much pain in my stomach and then still make pain when it comes out. So
I bet that if you put that cayenne powder on that would burn. You'd wish you were dead, probably, with cayenne powder burning on you, right? I'd be like putting jalapeno juice up your nose or something, right? You ever rub jalapeno juice in your eyeball? Oh my God.
I stay away from jalapenos because my stomach is not the best. But there was one time I was doing making something for somebody, and it had gotten on my hands, and I didn't think anything of it, and I'm still going along. Well, it dried, so I didn't think anything of it. Yeah, I got something in my eye, and I scratched my eye, and oh my God, I will never make that mistake again, ever.
I eat jalapenos like every day, so I put them in my eyeball a lot of times. Yeah, yeah. Get used to it after a while. Yeah, yeah. Cayenne stops the blood, and it can keep it from scarring, and keeps you awake in evil circumstances.
Yeah.
What is evil circumstances? Oh, awake. Oh, hey, like if you're having to stay awake,
Yeah.
Really? Can keep you awake?
Right.
Like coffee awake?
Speaking of coffee, I haven't had anything. I haven't had no coffee tonight. That's going to have to be a priority when we get off the show. I got to go make coffee.
I was going to say.
You know what else is that aloe vera plant, the real plant. I use that. That helps. That keeps scarring, healing. That's the best thing for wounds. Is you have a aloe vera plant in your house. I've had the same plant I have in the window. I've had it for about 40 something years. Of aloe vera plant. And I've used it for everything. Gunshot wounds and loss of blood too. He says.
Yep.
Wow. So you put the cayenne powder, like you just pat it on there, or what? Like,
I would think you just have to sprinkle it on there because between some of the blood, it'll clot it anyways and pack it.
Mm-hmm. Turn it into a paste.
Kind of like what you got to do with dogs if they bust a toenail. You can just pack it with flour or the stuff that stops it. Yeah, I would think very much so.
Huh.
But
Well, hopefully we'll never have to figure that one out. The gunshot wound part.
well, I've already had to figure that one out once.
Did you get shot by a gun?
Yeah, when I was in Nevada, I
Got yourself in the foot.
no, it
Oh,
was not by my bullet. It was not by my bullet.
okay. Okay. What now? You got shot in the foot?
No, it wasn't in the foot. Well, I'll tell you about that one here in a little bit.
Another one? You got shot more than once? Like
No, only once. Only
okay.
once. I learned my lesson one time.
Did it hurt?
Not at first. I didn't even realize it happened because it was in the back of me. So
What was the caliber? What was the caliber of bullet?
I think it was a 22.
Okay. Did it move around or did it just go straight through?
Straight.
Okay.
Well, straight in and got stuck. So at least it was not on a vital side where vital organs were, so it was okay. Yeah.
Sounds like it was kind of an accident or something.
No, it wasn't an accident.
Oh.
It kind of pissed me off. It was not an accident, but yeah, I'll tell you about that here later.
One of those kind of stories, eh?
Oh, great.
Hey, it couldn't be any worse than me and my ex-husband handcuffing each other with no clothes on and remembering that the handcuff keys were still in the car. And we had to call our sergeant to come by the house and unhook us. And I had to hide behind the door because when you're handcuffed, you can't put clothes on. And I had to hide behind the door. And
Boy, that went over well, I'm sure.
Look, and when we got to work, everybody already knew about it.
You had to hide behind the door. He bring you a key.
He came and unlocked it. Yes.
I hope you took him out to dinner or something for that one.
No, because we were about ready to kill him. Because by the time we got to work, everybody in the briefing room already knew about it.
Oh.
And we walked in, and all of a sudden,
Why did you not tell that story? Come on.
Everybody starts laughing, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, we were playing. We were off one night because we worked the same shifts and everything. And we were off one night. So we decided that we wanted to make up a new game called Strip Yahtzee. Strip Yahtzee. It's a long game.
Next time, make sure you got a key.
We ended up in handcuffs. And when we decided to take them off, we were looking around. And
you could have called Penny. She wears a key around her necklace. Yeah.
Well, you would think out of both of us having utility belts and both of us having access to handcuffs and guns and everything else that we would have had a handcuff.
You would have had a necklace with a key on it. Yeah.
Well, my spare key was in my boot, which zipped up on the side. It had a little pocket for the key. But I had left.
So you didn't have any boots on, so yeah.
We didn't lock the car. Yeah, no, I had left my boots in. I took them off before I got off work, but we didn't have. We never locked the car.
How old were you?
Never locked the door in the house.
How old?
God, how old was I back then? 30, 33, maybe. Yeah.
I guess it's live and learn, right?
And we left all of our keys in the car.
You probably didn't do that again, though, right? You probably never did that.
No. No. And anytime we talked about playing with handcuffs, we'd stop and look around and say, "Where's keys?"
He should have called the fire department.
No. Our sergeant was on his way into work when this happened. And he had to go right past our house. So we called him before he got there. And we're like, "Hey, man, we need you to stop by the house." And he's like, "For what?" And we're like, "We just need you to stop by real quick and bring a handcuff key." And he said, "Oh, I have a visual. I said, well, your visual is probably correct. So yeah, it was.
He should have got on the radio and broadcasted it.
You know, it would have been, you know, really bad if you had your door locked, you couldn't get in, and everything else, right? My God.
No, I mean, we walked through the house to go ahead and let him in the house. Well, we didn't let him in. He actually stood at the door, and I put my hand around the door.
Oh, there he says he's saying for a heart attack too. I think I've heard that the cayenne pepper
For a heart attack, warm water.
cayenne pepper, drink it down. Yeah, that's where I heard that you take cayenne pepper for a heart attack or something.
Oh, really?
I've never heard that.
You know? Huh?
I've never heard that.
Well,
it's kind of like it's like ivermectin. It's the wonder drug, you know.
probably. You know what? Everything else gets hid from us. Why not? What the hell? Well, listen, guys, we are almost out of time. So, Susie, where can people find you other than here?
Facebook under Suzanne Hott, Hotte. Oh, and did you like my thing where I said, because my name, you know, is really All Father, the All Father, right? So my father's name is Father. So I said when I lived in Bastrop, where Elon Musk is, that I was living in Sodom and Gomorrah. So Google says my name is Suzanne Lott.
Yeah, I seen that.
Lot is and I always said Buck was like Abraham. So Abraham was like my dad, you know, because he owned all the cattle and the money. He had all that wealth, and so he's like Father Abraham. And so Lot had to get out of Sodom and Gomorrah, and I cannot believe that Google said my name was Lot.
I know, right?
But is that some kind of like an AI, you know, joke? Ha ha! You know, like really? When it's and then it says that my alias name was Hot, but it was really Lot. I mean, come on, Google. It's ha ha. Are you Googling, laughing at me? Ha ha ha.
Do better, Google. Do better. And you do the Awake Nation every other Friday?
The Awake Nation, not this Friday, next Friday, not this coming Friday, but the next Friday, every other Friday at 10:30 to 11. It's Dave Zublick's The Awake Nation.
And
but it air, but Dave, they're Penny and Dave, they're, you know, they air all Monday through Friday.
Yep.
9 to 11, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then they have their weekend around 6:30 at night on YouTube. They've got their news breaking stuff. I love listening to them. They are so much better than actual news any day. I mean, it's hilarious. Then they get to laugh and it's hilarious.
Right.
So, and Andy, where else are you besides here?
Fridays on the Grin and Guardian show, Challenge Coin show with Glenn. Then Saturdays the Misfit show.
Yeah, I'll be doing this. Yes, on YouTube, William. Yeah, I'll be doing this Saturday.
I tried looking it up on YouTube and I cannot find it anywhere under.
Can't find
outside the box. It's like it never comes up anywhere. I see everything else. So you might want to do something to the name of it because there's too many other things under that title. So
William's got it on YouTube.
I tagged it, but I tagged.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, if anybody has a problem finding it on YouTube, until I get a chance to fix that, you can probably go to my Facebook page, Andy's Facebook page, Susie's Facebook page, because we usually like to, I put it on there, and when I share it, it automatically gives the YouTube link. So anytime it gets shared, it'll share automatically with the YouTube link.
Hey, and if anybody, William, anybody wants to come on with us anytime, just let us know. You know, if we got something to share. Yeah, want to talk about. You know,
and we will bring you on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I know that one day I scrolled until I found it. I did
And
look.
I never did find it, and I've looked multiple times. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's you got to be patient looking for it. It's there, but for the most part, when I
Too
hear
common
it,
of a phrase. There's hundreds of them, you know.
and I did not know that. I'm over here thinking, because what were we talking about before we even came up with the name?
That's why I said we're calling it outside the box, but we should say we are outside the box, or are you outside the box, or something. You know,
I'll have to figure out how I can change that and it not mess up my streaming with Streamlabs.
Yeah, you might have to go back and change it up with them a little bit.
Yeah, I think I do have to change it with them first.
Okay.
And then I can go and do it, but I'll get it figured out. But for now, just if you guys share it with people, put it on your page when I send it to you, then it'll come up with the YouTube link. All they got to do is hit it in your Facebook. So, yeah. But anyways, well, guys, we're gonna go ahead and cut it. And
bye, William.
Thank you, William, for coming and subscribing. Yeah. And you are welcome anytime. And for everybody else out there, we will see you Friday night at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. And y'all have a good night and stay safe out there. Bye-bye.
See ya.